Coronavirus.
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 Chinese virus.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus!
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
The coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Hello, my name is Tommaso Santilli, Daniel Baker. I'm Jordan Poe. I'm from Hackney, London. I live in Bologna, Italy. I am from Irvine, California, and I designed a video game. I wrote a play. I composed a music score for Pixar during my lockdown. Nigga. My first reaction to the coronavirus was that it was nothing more than the common flu. It was like a, scientific blockbuster movie. It certainly was not responsible for this massive pandemic. To be completely honest with you, I just thought it was just another case of the common cold. I didn't really pay attention until much later. Black people can't get that. That's what I thought. I mean, I was going out to parties, drinking juice out the carton, coughing on babies. Man, I was living my life, man. It's hard for me to say, really. I definitely have my personal opinions about the whole ordeal, but I don't know what I would have done in that sort of situation, so it's hard for me to say if they did a good job or not. What is your personal opinion? Well, people dying, there's that. I didn't really understand how letting the virus accumulate was somehow making the situation better. I think so. The spread was so fast. It was impossible to predict. The hospitals was overflooded. So it was important for the government to issue a mandatory lockdown. What a hesitation. Well, the division in America is crazy present. Like, we can't agree on fucking nothing here. Why do you think that is? Well, entitlement, too damn sensitive, right? Like, everybody wants the world tailored to them or their group, right? But the truth is, and part of the beauty is that it's not going to be tailored towards you, right? There's one America and there's billions of people that live here with their own ideas of how shit should go. Could you imagine the chaos that would happen if everybody had their way? You start to see it right now in some of these groups. I mean, every week there's something new that I can't say. You can't say this, you can't say this, you can't say this either, bro. And I get it. But don't force your oppression on me. Don't force me to think the way you think. I got my own skin that I'm trying to navigate the world with. And if I'm wrong, talk to me. Like a person. Talk to me. Right? We canceled. What the fuck you canceling me for? Canceled. You said this thing. What was wrong when I said canceled? Right? And they walk away with no information about the error that I made. Just their aggression. Micro-aggression. Because some of these people never saw a fucking fight a day in their life. But the beauty of these groups is that it's forcing more ideas at the table that was historically one way. But if these same groups don't come in with love or compassion, then they're turning into the very thing they're fighting against. My bad, bro. I just went on tangent. It's all good. We was talking about the government. Right, the government. I mean, people felt how they felt about his policies, and I'm pretty sure I shared. I mean, we could talk about it, and I probably share some of your same sentiment. I felt like in that time of crisis, there should have been more unity on the front end, right? It wasn't about him, it was more about the lives. I'll never forget, I was in middle school, and I had some beef with this dude. Can't remember what it was over, but it started in the classroom, and it made its way to the lunchroom. Never forget, I'm sitting there eating my lunch on them styrofoam trays. I had a stale-ass hot dog and some french fries. And the dude, homie, came over to me. He was like, hey, bro, you got a problem with my nigga? I was like, yeah. On the inside, I was terrified because I knew I just picked up another problem. I got to deal with both these dudes now. So I finished my lunch slowly, and I walk outside to the recess area. And I'm standing out there. I'm like, man, this is the first week of 7th grade. I'm like, bro, I can't turn down no fade. The dude, I see him come out these brown double doors. There's the brown double doors that lead out to the recess. There's 2 hoops. I'm standing in between those 2 hoops. So he walk out the brown double doors. I'm like, hey! He see me, and then he start walking over to me, start pulling his pants up. I know what that means, so I start pulling my pants up. We going back and forth. My homie T see it from where he was at, and he come on the front line. As soon as I see T, I start getting, when your boy together, you get real, and I'm like, what's up? Security guard finally break it up. As we walking away, my homie grabbed me and he pushed me, and he was like, hey, bro, man, you being hot here, man, you tripping, man, we cool with them, bro. Quit being hot here, starting stuff. I felt like that's what we needed in that moment during the outbreak, right? Talk shit about me after the disaster is averted. But until then, we in this together. I personally was not affected. My family lives in Morocco, but the panic was just as contagious as the coronavirus. Everybody I knew was pretty much healthy. It was the people hoarding tissue and milk. I saw a lady with 2 carts filled with milk. I'm like, how you gonna drink that before the milk spoil? Not directly, but my dad died from it. Sort of tragic, really. He was in the hospital with what they called coronary heart disease. He was an avid smoker. He smoked to the day he got admitted into the hospital. I've always admired his tenacity. But all those years of smoking left an armor of plaque in his lungs. So it was definitely hard for him to breathe. So we went on the market for a new heart. Once we surpassed the initial hurdle of paying for the procedure, we went on the waiting list, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. It was beginning to look a little bleak, almost a year. And I'll never forget, one day he called us into his hospital room, and he's laying there. He's sort of perched up a little bit, and he has his nightgown on, and there's a beam of light coming in from the window on his right side, and it's sort of creating this aura around him. And he's sitting there perched up, and he has this big smile on his face. It's massive. And he calls us over, and he says, he takes us all in, me, my brother, my sister, my mum, and he looks at us and he says, you all look worried. Stop it. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. I believed him. I did. It was sort of divine. 2 days after that incident, we got a call. There's a heart available. You could feel the weight just lift off the house. I was going to get my dad back. And he did the procedure, we did all the paperwork. Everything went smoothly. And after those sort of procedures, they leave you in the hospital for about a week. And just to make sure there aren't any complications or whatever. Your immune system is really weak after those type of surgeries. And that was around the time that the cases started to sporadically hit the UK. Because of his weak immune system. He I'm sorry. I was able to reconnect with some friends and family. Ultimately, I was able to create a video game that won a Game of the Year and a Pioneer Award, so that was pretty cool. I just knew during the quarantine, I was not getting that time back. I had all this time. And you know, it's a funny thing about time. We always complain about how much of it we don't get to ourselves. And then we get it, and then we just squander it away. During the first month of the lockdown, I would every day would scroll on the internet looking at the funny videos. Wake up, eat junk food. There was no structure to my day. After about 3 months of this consistent diet of laziness, I became very frustrated with life. I remember one day I wake up and I didn't want to wake up. I was frustrated with life. I just felt like if I stayed in quarantine for 8 months and I did nothing for myself, I'm straight. I'm lame. I'm lame. I did nothing for myself. I mean, there's only so many TikTok challenges you can do, right? Netflix gonna run out of TV shows, right? So I started creating a schedule and I just stuck to my script. I made a plan. I'm going to lock myself into a room, and whether it was 20 minutes or 2 minutes, I'm going to devote a chunk of my day to writing. And by the end of it, I had this accomplishment. I never dreamed it would be premiering at the National Theatre. It's crazy to think about. But I know that I didn't want to waste the time. And I saw the piano in the corner. The piano was there in the corner, but for some strange reason, it was in the forefront of my vision today. And in that moment, I felt a wash of peace, because I knew that I had purpose. And in that moment, I said I'm going to make one song a week. And by the end of the lockdown, I had over 100 songs.